Fabiola.
Here.
Commissioner Hightower.
Here.
Commissioner Webb.
Here.
Commissioner Goss.
Here.
Mayor Butler.
Here. Any addition or correction to the minutes of February the 27th? If not, they'll be approved. Okay, I see we have several
I don't think number one's here.
visitors
Yeah.
here this evening.
Number one was not going to be able to make it tonight.
Who?
Number one item, Mr.
Oh,
Karen.
okay. I think before we start on that, I see Ron, you got something going here?
Yeah, he's here.
I think he's on item.
He's on number 5, I think,
Number
Mayor.
5?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll work down to that then. All right. Chuck Coons, where are you?
Right here, Mr.
Oh, okay.
Am I up?
Yeah, you are at bat.
Lead off hitter. This is pretty good. All right, so, Mr. Mayor, Board, our Council, I'm Chuck Coons. I'm with Vets for Vets. We met a couple months ago, and I'd like to introduce Vets for Vets is a charity trying to help the homeless veterans here in Southern Illinois, particularly in Marion. I'd like to introduce our CEO, Vietnam veteran Bruce Scheffler back there.
Okay.
And we have our pro bono attorney, Jonathan Cantrell. And our guest of honor, Michael Garnier. Michael's a veteran. He's been pre-screened by the VA and HUD to be our first resident in the home when we get it approved. And so that's what we're here to talk about today. So I gave everybody a packet like this. Did you all get it?
Yes.
Did you have a chance to review it, I hope? Because when I'd like to take a few minutes to explain to the people who are here. Vets for Vets is a charity, and we're trying to help the homeless veterans here in Southern Illinois, get them re-job trained so they can get on with their lives and be independent living by the time a year is up. So we propose to build, or we have built, a manufactured home in cooperation with the Illinois Department of Corrections. We bought the shell of the house. It's built to federal standards, so we use PVC piping instead of, or copper instead of PVC and so on and so forth. And then it was shipped up to the Danville Correctional facility so that the inmates there can learn a trade in conjunction with a local junior college. And many of the inmates working on the interior of our building, getting it ready for Mr. Garnier, are veterans themselves, trying to rehabilitate themselves. So what we need to do is we have had donated a piece of property just down the road here, 1201 South Madison. Right now, there's no building on it. I got destroyed by fire or whatever, and the lady who owned it had it torn down, and they donated it to us to have this house for people like our veteran, Mr. Garnier. Now, the important thing about this is concerns have been raised about what our tiny house will do to property values in the area. And so on the recommendation of people who know more than me, first thing I did was I went to the homeowners that surrounded our house, 1201 South Madison. So on 1200 Capron, we had Gerald and Crystal Jennings. They're both veterans. One was Army and one was Air Force. Showed them pictures of our houses, showed them where it's going to be in relation to their house, and they support the project. And then we went to James Morrow at 1208 Mechanic, which I believe is right behind our house. And again, he's a Navy veteran, and he supports our project. And then we went to the house to the south, which was at 1205 South Madison, and talked to Taniana Taylor, and she's a single mom. She's not a veteran, but she also supports the project after we discussed with her what it would do and what it would look like and where it would be in relation to her house. So the big objection that we've heard about this particular piece of property that we're going to build this on is if we put our house in there, it might affect the values of the houses that are surrounding it. And so our house with the property retail would be about $35,000. We've been told by the company that built it and the valuation of the lot. And one of the houses next to it sold on July 19, 2007, according to Zillow, for $15,000. So, and it's at 1208 Mechanic. And so our house is valued at more than theirs. And then the other one I could find a value for was 1205 South Madison. And again, Zillow said that that was sold in April 8th of 1998 for $23,500. So even that one would be less expensive than the new manufactured home that we built or had built in cooperation with the Danville Correctional Institute or prison. We have partners who are HUD, and they, in association with the VA, have a supplemental housing program for veterans, just like Mr. Garnier, that pays the rent for him for some period of time. The rent payments come directly to the charity, our charity. We're a not-for-profit charity. We will pay all the expenses on that property. We will pay the mortgage payments, we'll pay the insurance payments, we'll pay the taxes, and we'll have it professionally maintained. This will be the nicest house in that neighborhood, I guarantee it. And so what we're asking the city to do is give us permission to put this house on the foundation we'll have built there with your permission. And in the future, we'd like to partner with you like these other organizations for other buildings. And to avoid the concern of putting this in areas where you would devalue the property, we will give you basically right of first refusal or the ability to say to us, we don't want that house there, but you can put it here. So you have final control of this. We don't want to upset you. We want to be your partner. I know several of you, in fact, the majority of you on this board are veterans. All of our board is veterans. Our residents are veterans, so everybody associated with this program is a veteran. So we just like to partner up and help our brothers in arms get a hand up, not a hand out, and so they can get their life back together and become productive tax-paying citizens right here in Marion. So does anyone have any questions?
Got a couple of questions. What is the size of this building?
Okay, this building, because of the people who's built it doorway, is 12 by 32? Yeah. So it's, you have a code that says it should be 400 square feet or bigger. It's 14 or 16 square feet smaller than code, your recommendations, or I don't know what term to use. Okay, so we can rectify that by extending out the back end, but for 14 square feet, we'd like just to have a variance for this one, and all the rest of them will be up to specs or larger, because the next one we're going to do will be a family-size unit. Again, if you allow us to have places here that we can buy or the city would donate for the next unit, because it'll be a family size.
Okay, you talked about the next will be family-sized. How many inhabitants is this structure supposed to handle?
Bruce, you want to answer that one?
Well, the one we're doing now could handle a couple or a single person. And Mr. Gardier's single. If we put one up with 2 bedrooms, then you'd have the ability to put a couple.
This will have 1 bedroom?
This is 1 bedroom.
Okay, so I assume you're talking about 1 person living there.
One person or a couple could live there, but right now, he's single, so he's by himself.
Okay.
Yeah, now there is a floor plan on the back of the handouts that I gave you. There's a picture of and so you can see for yourself how the rooms would be laid out. There's a picture on the back at the top of the page, and at the bottom of it is the floor layout.
You talked about the mortgage. Who makes the mortgage payments on this?
Our charity does, Vets for Vets.
Okay, so the person living there, the vet living there, is not making the payments.
He is qualified and have been pre-screened by, there's a program called HUD-VASH, which stands for Housing Urban Development, VA, and the SH is Supplemental Housing, HUD-VASH program. The HUD people have so many vouchers they can give out in an area that is specifically for this type of purpose, for a veteran who is about to be homeless or has shaky housing or so on and so forth, and it's a temporary one-year thing. There can be some extensions. It's a temporary one-year thing to get him settled and get him permanent and get him to be retrained, or she. And that program pays the rent directly to the charity on his behalf. Does that answer your question, Mr. Mayor?
Repeat that last statement, I'm not sure.
The HUD-VASH program pays the rental payment directly to Vets for Vets, a nonprofit 501(c)(3). And
Is that for just the first year, or is that for as long as he's there?
well, it's for as long as he's there, but it's designed to last about a year. So our goal in that year is to get him from where he is now, retrained, reacclimated, restabilized, and so that he can get a job, move out of this house, and replace it with a new veteran.
Is there an income threshold that would expedite the process of being there for a year? Like say at 6 months, if he were to find a job that would, be able to afford something higher than that?
I don't know the answer to that, but I'll find out and let you know.
For another veteran that's more,
Yeah, I don't know.
So when the vet moves in, how long can he expect to be there, all things being equal?
A year.
A year?
We have, like on the second page of this, I gave you a cover letter, and the second page was a letter from a veteran that we helped in a similar fashion, not through the HUD-VASH program, but a similar program. His name was Jeff Robinson, and he wrote a letter thanking us. And he said, like, recently Vets for Vets bought me food, assisted me with my cell phone bill, assisted me with my auto insurance, and helped me move into a very nice shelter. He found a job shortly after that because, again, he was restabilized, and now he works 2 jobs, has his own apartment, and he has another veteran living with him. And so these programs work if we give them a chance.
Do you have in mind trying to gather these buildings in one location, or do you want to scatter?
Absolutely not. We want them to be housed in the neighborhood just like regular people. So it'll be one house per lot, per city lot, just like,
I know that, but I mean, are you thinking about gathering the lots in a certain location?
No.
I see where some city has done that.
Yeah, some cities have, like in Detroit,
Yeah.
they have a lady up there that's already got, it's a charity that has 100 of these spread
Yeah,
out around the
I've seen that.
VA in Detroit, so.
That's
Did you
right.
part- I'm sorry, John.
No, good, I'm done.
No, did you guys buy this lot or was it donated?
It was donated. The lot was donated. We bought the house.
When you say you bought the house, you mean you signed the mortgage?
Okay, so the Vets for Vets owns the house. Bruce and I, the CEO and I, had to guarantee the mortgage payments.
Oh, your personal guarantee?
Yes, sir. I'm all
Yours
in
be
on this.
commended.
I'm all in on this. I mean, everybody involved in this project is all in on this. There's nothing more important to me right now in my life than helping these vets.
Okay.
What about your water and sewer hookups? Do you have people that's gonna do that for
We
you?
have the contractor has already been out there and put in all the little stakes and had, 811 or whatever it is, come out and mark where everything is. And so we're ready to, because Mr. Garnier has been waiting November, December, January, February, now we're into March, 5 months. Frankly, he's nervous, He wants to have a house, he wants to get on, he wants to get ahead, he wants to have a hand up. And, for reasons out of his control, just hasn't happened yet. And so he's thinking, he feels bad because he's thinking somehow it's due to him. And it's not, it's just due to, Vets for Vets didn't know all the things hoops we'd have to jump through and
But expand on Nancy's question, the sewer and water, you'll have it connected?
Yes, we'll have it connected.
We'll do that.
Yep, we do that.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Are
We're
any of
taking
these-
full responsibility for this house from beginning to end.
Okay, and I guess I have to ask this question. You guys do your own policing? And I'm not saying Mr. Garnet, but
Policing and respect.
Keep them along.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well,
It'll be the best maintained house in that area.
Well, and in other regards too, all of a sudden, 3 or 4 people, his
Okay, so
friends or something, want to stay with him.
He
or
will
something.
be assigned a caseworker at the VA, and she or he will, be his mentor almost, and he doesn't have transportation, so to get to his meetings and his sessions at the VA, or to go shopping or whatever it is he needs done, his caseworker will be helping him. So mostly he or she will monitor the situation there.
Okay.
As far as the physical attributes of the place, that's our job.
So more or less, all you just need is a variance from the city. That's basically what
That's
you're
it,
asking.
that's all we want
So
right
that
now,
goes to the
yep.
zoning
I
board.
mean, the zoning board, how often do they meet? That's-
Well, there's a need. Is that right, Jim?
The zoning board meets how often?
When there's a need?
I will speak to it. We passed an ordinance last year, I guess it was, against this kind of a building. Not only the 400 square feet, those little buildings being built in. I've made 2 people take them off of the lot already that have them set. One guy was living in one, made them take them off of that because it doesn't meet our zoning ordinance anymore opposed. We passed an ordinance just to stop that, but we let one person build them, we gotta let the next person, and the next person, so we'll have them all over town. I'm not against particularly what you're doing, but when we put the first one in, and the next guy won't. So I made 2 people already take them out after they bought them and set them on the property.
Being big enough for the same reason, or not being big enough?
Doesn't meet our ordinance, and if you let this little house go in, I guarantee you there'll be 100 of them by this time next year. Everybody will come in to get one. If we say, no, you can't have one, then you'll be in the middle of a lawsuit, well, hey, you want something right down the street from me. Why do I have to move mine?
So does the ordinance define the square footage required?
Not only square footage, it defines what constitutes a small, I don't have the ordinance up there with me, but anything that's brought in like that and set on a lot cannot be set in the city of Marion. It doesn't have, I think it has to be with, like Riggs, but I haven't got it with me up here. But we do have a zoning ordinance against this kind of a little tiny house, and we passed it for that reason.
So are you saying it's got to be on foundation?
It's got to be stick built on a foundation.
Well,
Okay, so this is manufactured housing. According to Good Housekeeping and other experts in the area, this type of manufactured housing is equal to site-built housing, and some of the reasons they put is these houses are built in the factory. They're built using jigs. Site-built homes are not. Using jigs for construction ensures that each home is perfectly plumb and square. In other words, that they are built to exacting standards. And because of the factory buying power, the construction material...
I agree with what you're saying. I agree with that.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, it's set, and then you need to change the whole ordinance.
Or issue...
It will be all over town.
Or issue a variance, right? Because I don't think our house, well, I don't know, I'm not a lawyer or whatever, but I don't think our house, except for the square footage, fits, I mean, it's appropriate other than the square footage, is it not? I don't know.
two on
We don't have an
Hendrickson.
ordinance against building a 400 square foot house if it's built on the lot. Our thing is bringing them in and set. They're not stick built. And you don't.
Yeah, no, they're not stick built.
Okay.
So if we do, if you want to let them set, I mean, that's.
And I mean, you make a special exception for the vets
I'm really not.
some way.
But what I'm saying is, if you let one person do it, you're going to have to let somebody else, and the people will be having all over Marion renting them out to people, because rental property, all over rental people in town.
And the ordinance says the 400 square feet applies if it's mostly metal. Okay, we have wood siding and we have a metal roof, but the house is...
Sir, why don't you use the microphone so
Okay,
they all
sure.
can hear us? Thank you.
Here's a copy of the ordinance. I can pass it over to you, but the first thing it says is that if it has to be 50% more metal, then it has to be more than 400 square feet. It also says further in this that if the house is on a foundation and hooked to the sewer or water, that it's considered a permanent structure and not. What you're trying to avoid are the ones that come in on a skid that are like, they sell them for just storage structures, and when people move into them. This is going to be on a foundation with city sewer water hooked up to it, so it's a permanent structure.
It's going to be on a block foundation or a slab?
Block foundation. It's going to be on crossways.
Okay.
But we're doing that in case something happens, you can get in there and take care of it.
Jim, is that,
There's a water problem or a
is
sleep
that the way
problem.
you read it? I mean, is that what
I've
is?
got a copy of the ordinance, you just gave it to me here now.
Here's a copy.
No,
of
I'm
it.
with Mr. Phil. He's our code guy. See what Jim says.
No portable building or structure that is used or intended to be used for habitation shall be placed, located, or assembled to be placed or located on any property within the city limits of Marion.
You call this a portable structure then, because it's being moved in intact.
Any structure which meets any of the following criteria is originally designed to be moved from place to place by any means whatsoever, whether on wheels, skids, or otherwise. Any structure which is not originally designed to be permanently attached to the real property on which it sits by means of a permanent foundation. Any structure constructed on site so as not to allow all inspections required of site-built structures provided according to the part of the building code of the city of Marion. Any structure not having permanent water and sewer, which we have. Any metal building or structure less than 400 square feet shall be presumed to be a portable building. Is of any temporary nature, but not limited to sheds, tents, and structures. It's not built or construction in plants that which that one is. And it says no portable building or structure that is used or intended to be used for habitation.
That's a portable.
Our ordinance, which our attorney drew up, considers this a portable building. And our ordinance says that you cannot place it in the city.
Let me say something before. Let me say
All over
something.
Marion within a year. And people will be renting them out as rental property, or they can build a lot, get them a lot cheaper than they can go buy a house. Okay?
Well, of course, there's the matter of you don't necessarily have to issue the permit for 100. And I know what you're saying is, though, you issue one, then the second guy is going to come in and say, well, you issued this one, why can't you issue mine? Now, I don't know where that leaves us.
Can I, okay, so,
Yeah.
Mr. Phemister, okay, so when my wife and I drove here to this meeting down Hendrickson, there's I call it a trailer, came in on wheels, just like, came in on wheels. I watched them wheel it in. Okay, they wheeled in one half, and then a few weeks later, they wheeled in the next half, and they put them two pieces together, and they put it on a foundation just like ours, and they hooked up the sewer and water. So that building was wheeled in. How's that work?
I didn't write the ordinance.
Okay, but I'm saying,
That's a double wide
yeah,
manufactured trailer.
but it was wheeled in, and it was designed to be wheeled in.
I'm not going to argue with you.
Okay.
Actually, that was going to be my question, I was just, telling, the council up here, we've given zoning variances to two on Hendrickson and one on Otis Street here recently, and they're these same types of structure, And I guess I don't understand enough about construction to differentiate between this type and why we allow those. Although those are much bigger homes.
They're larger, but our house is not built as a shed. It's built to the same construction standards as you would a home. So it has the same, studs are on the same, on center, the roof is on the same center, so that it meets the Southern Building Code. So a shed, that technically could be built, you know, in a lot of different ways that wouldn't meet code, because they're not designed for habitat.
Are there any other towns in southern Illinois that have these? Are this we the first town, or just curious?
Yeah, we came here first because the hospital's here and we wanted to be here, but we've had some other people say, yeah, why don't you bring it to us? Also, the city of Danville is waiting for when we get this going, the prison is going to send some to Danville to put up on.
I think we want to do this right.
They're going to work the,
I suggest
they're taking
we wait
houses
until
where they've
we get
torn down
an opinion from our
houses that,
legal
you know,
counsel.
were condemned,
That way we can get
or
out of
burned or
it.
whatever, and they're donating the
You want
lots.
me to bring that up?
Okay, I think you've probably answered the questions that we have. This is pretty serious issue. I think the council's going to want to take a little time to consider it. There's several things that have to be taken into account, and I'm sure you appreciate that. And I recognize that you're concerned about the timing, as would be the gentleman involved.
Well, as a veteran, I support your program. The question is, you've heard the questions we have.
Right.
So I see the consensus is we need to sit down and think about it.
Commissioner, it would be my suggestion that since our city attorney's not here and he had a large part in writing that ordinance, that we wait till he gets back and get an opinion from him, and we can meet with him and then be able to come back to Mr. Kuntz and say, you know, here's what we can or cannot do.
Well, in all fairness, I think we've got to be definite about this. I think that we should have this in hand by the time of our next regular meeting. When would that be?
27th.
27th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
March 27th.
Okay, we'll have a decision.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, council.
27th. Thank you all.
Can I get a copy of it?
Sure.
And we got it earlier, we could have a special meeting if we get it earlier. Because we're going to do it, we have a special meeting.
It's a discussion item anyway.
But we tell me.
Yeah, it's not, yeah.
Okay.
Support the idea.
Let's go on down here to,
Jerry's next.
let's look at item number 5 on the agenda.
Yeah, that's going to be, that's where we get.
Right here, today's the 13th, the next one's the 27th, Angela.
Okay.
Budge here.
All right, who can tell us about this request for special use permit to,
Jim?
I think Mr. Phemister can speak to that. He is zoning
okay,
5A.
well,
See which one it is. I'm running behind.
It's the selling golf. It's the golf.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have a zoning board meeting for a request. Sorry. Yeah, we had a zoning board meeting for a request for special use permits to allow, wrong one. Picked up the wrong one. Let's see, to allow for a home-based business for the storage, repair, and selling of golf carts at 2307 Spring Lane, Marion, Illinois, for Brandon Blades. And we had our zoning board meeting, and the zoning board voted to reject the application.
Okay. Was there any reason that it was simply not going to conform to the zoning?
Doesn't conform to our zoning of a business because of the number of people coming to the place and back and forth. So we turned the zoning board that turned it down.
Okay, is Brandon here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, come back.
I mean, just like you said,
Randy might come.
Come around to the mic.
yeah, just like you said, guys, as far as people coming and going, I'm fully aware of that, and the neighbors are not happy with it. So my suggestion for you guys, or from me to you guys, would be, I just wouldn't have anybody else come to the property anymore for that purposes. I actually work at Sound Company. I'm sure you guys know by Matrix Tools uptown there. And my boss, the owner, Mark, wrote up something. He wasn't able to come tonight. Basically saying that any sales or anybody that would come for the golf carts could come up to our place of work, Sound Company, to keep from anybody having to come to my property. So my property would strictly only be for storage and for refurbishing. It's something I started a couple of years ago with my son. It's really the only father-son thing that we got going on other than sports, and I just really hate to give it up. I mean, I would still like to continue to do it as a hobby. It's more of a hobby as a business. I've had to label it as a business at this point to get this special use permit to continue doing what I'm doing. So I guess my thing to ask for you guys would be if you could issue me the permit based on for only storage and refurbishing, and my sales would be strictly at Sound Company.
I'm not sure I understand how that would operate. You're going to keep golf carts where you're working?
Yes. Yeah.
Then why do you have anything going?
I don't have storage there. Anything that I would be storing at home would be for the purposes of fixing them up, refurbishing them. I put light kits and different things on them, and then at that case I would, if somebody was interested, I would take them to Sound Company and deal with people there.
Does people bring you their golf cart to refurbish, or you buy them for
Both.
selling them?
Both. Yeah. As you know, Lake of Egypt, there's a lot of people at Lake of Egypt, and
They ask you to fix it for them?
yeah, I'm the only guy around this area that tinkers with golf carts, so every now and then I'll get one. I think I did maybe 2 last year, and I just recently done a golf cart for a guy in Goreville to meet their...
Well, it's every now and then, you're not every day doing that.
No, not really. Like I said, I work 40 hours a week, and when I get a chance, I do, and sometimes
I got a complaint from one of your neighbors.
Sure.
And he said that you had a bunch of stuff stored on the property.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of traffic coming and going.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just an occasional thing, it was something that was sort of continuous.
It's definitely an occasional thing. I don't have open doors where people...
Well, it doesn't matter whether you got open door or not. If people are coming and going and you're storing stuff there out apparently in the yard and wherever you've got room.
Right.
To my mind, that is strictly contrary to our zoning ordinance operating a business in a residential area.
Okay.
And I don't know how we get around it.
Yeah. I will bring this up too as well. This here is a business located 2 doors down from me, Rainbow International Carpet Cleaning. And I just kind of feel like nothing's been raised about that business, and it's kind of been singled out on my hobby/business that I have going on.
Does he have anybody coming to his house?
Yes, he does. He has people that bring rugs. He, of course, goes on site to do commercial stuff, but...
I know who he is. I thought
Yeah.
it was more of an on-site type of...
Yeah, I went and talked to him about it, and he said he does have people every now and then bring him rugs so he can clean them at his house instead of having to go to a house to clean one rug.
I'm not sure I understand how his operation works. If he or his people go to somebody's house to work on a carpet, then nothing is happening at his house.
Right, he has all this stuff stored at his house. Vans and equipment and everything that he uses for his business is stored at his house. And he has a 40-foot storage container building in his backyard.
Well, that's an entirely different issue
Right.
from what yours is. And I think we have to take these things
Yeah, absolutely.
a case at a time. So right now, we're considering yours.
Okay.
Does that neighbor have a special use permit then, or?
No.
But that is something we can consider after we have taken care of your
Sure,
situation.
absolutely.
So, anybody got any other question for this man?
No, there's, the Hensons are here, they're the next door neighbors, and I see Bill cringing in his seat.
Well, they
So, I
have,
mean, Bill, do you need to add anything to this?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna talk about it.
Okay.
I've got some pictures here of what we're talking about a little bit, what's going on next door with golf carts and everything.
Here's the pictures of the
Oh, here's this too, right here.
I would like to say one thing, that Brandon and his wife have been good neighbors. This is something that he started about a year and a half ago, and when it started, it was not too big of a deal. It was very small, and me and him talked about it, didn't have a problem with it, but as time has gone on, it's gotten bigger and bigger. And there have been a few times when he has had a dozen or more golf carts at his house, with his garage full of them, 6 or 7 beside his house facing my house. I have seen stacks of tires, batteries, upholstery, body parts for golf carts. When we had our meeting last Thursday with the zoning board, he was still adamant about wanting a special use permit for a business in his house. And we are completely against that. It creates a lot of traffic on a dead-end road. There's not a cul-de-sac for people to turn around. They have to use our driveways. I've seen them use 3 or 4 different driveways to back their trailers in. They have been coming from all over. I've seen Missouri plates, Kentucky plates. In this day and age, we worry about people coming from out of state or whoever coming out into the subdivision. And we have some small children that live on the street, and the more the traffic it creates, I personally don't see what the difference is. What he's doing right now at his house is much different than a used car lot. He has had more than golf carts. He's had several boats over the last year or so, 3 or 4. I've seen campers, pop-up camper, big camper, 4-wheelers, mopeds. And I just don't think, if he has this good of a business, that he needs to be using a subdivision as a business or a storage facility. If it's that good, you need to rent something in town. There's plenty of places, and that's where it needs to be at. So I do know that if I were trying to sell my home right now, some people, maybe not all, but some would have issues with what's going on next door to me, with all the golf carts sitting outside and different things, boats, whatever. I've had several friends come to the house and immediately ask me, what's going on next door with all the golf carts? So,
Did you agree to scale back on that, though? I mean,
Yeah, I'm willing to keep everything indoors, possibly maybe getting a building.
what about a fence or something?
I'll plan on building a building, detached garage, storing everything indoors, out of the way, outside, and also, not having any traffic.
Would that be more palatable if he?
I do have a copy of the covenants with me, and they are good until January of 19. And it does say in the covenants is that if you do have a business at your residence, that business is not to basically overflow into your yard. It can be confined to your house, but you cannot have any clutter, whatever you want to call it, around the yard. You know, I like to think that this wouldn't be allowed in a lot of our other subdivisions in town. No, I don't live in the nicest subdivision in town, but there are other subdivisions, I'm sure that, you know, residents would be, you know, this would not be acceptable.
Couple of things. One, the restrictive covenants that you're talking about, city cannot enforce those. You understand that?
Yes, I do understand.
Yeah, that was put together by the developer of the subdivision.
Right.
Then just simply comes down to a matter of whether or not this gentleman is operating a business in a residential zone, and I assume he's looking for a permit or a special permit to allow him to operate. That seems to be the issue.
Yes.
Now, I think we have to consider the zoning board's consideration, and they voted unanimously by those present to deny the special use permit, and that's their recommendation to the city council. So,
Wasn't that before the concession was made that he would not operate as a business? So, I mean, wasn't that the information that you guys had when you made the vote?
I'm sorry?
When you made that the vote on the zoning board, wasn't that with the information that he was in fact going to use it as a business? That was before the concession was made by him? You know,
he's been conducting a business.
But all due respect to that too, the zoning board had to reconsider that as another issue because they've already passed on this request.
Yeah.
And if they want to vary it to something other, they had to start with a new request.
Yeah.
We ought to look at that.
we can maybe
Well,
table this
okay, I
until
think we need now a motion to either approve or disapprove the zoning board's recommendation.
What were you saying, Anthony?
Well, I make a motion we approve the zoning board's recommendation.
No, we gotta act on this one now. If they wanna go
Okay,
to the
is
board,
there a second?
they can do that.
So we're voting on it based on the information they had initially, but they would have to
What
agree.
we're doing is accepting, or moving to accept the zoning board's recommendation.
As presented to them.
What were you saying, ma'am?
I just wanted to ask, if we're not going to operate as a business, do we even need the special use permit at this point? Or can we just store, because there's no restriction on how many golf carts we can store?
Well, you see, you knew when you moved in there that it was not a business, not an operation. Now, in the last year at least, apparently you have been operating a pretty good business. Would that be fair?
Not really, no.
Oh, it hasn't been a good business?
Mayor.
Well, why are you in business then?
Exactly.
Mayor Butler,
Wait a minute.
at one time, he told me he sold over 50 in a year.
You did what?
Sold over 50 golf carts in a year. That's pretty
Well,
good.
that's not very good.
That's a pretty moot point if they're not going to have a business.
Depending on whose ox is being gored now. Anyhow, we've got a motion made and seconded to approve the zoning board's recommendation. Call the roll.
Commissioner Manella.
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
And Mayor Butler.
Yay. Okay, that'll
Now,
take.
they can go back to the zoning board.
Sure, you can go
with
back to the
their-
zoning board.
Sure, they can apply again to the zoning board.
They're not going to have a business.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, understand that.
Again,
Here's some pictures there, Bill.
yes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thank you guys for your time.
Okay.
you can try it again.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll keep trying until we get it, guys. Thank you.
Well, you can keep trying. Okay, now let's go on to the item B under 5. Request for special use permit to allow an impound lot to be located at 307 West Boynton Street.
Right there. There's some neighbors say no.
Okay. Ron, you want to tell us about this?
No, Jim's done.
Oh, okay, Jim.
This is another special use permit we've got, and, excuse me, this is from Mr. Miller, runs a garage up in the north part of town up here, and he's applying for a special use permit to buy the piece of property on Boynton Street, right beside the electrical specialist to the west of it, about an acre and a half of ground there, and build an automobile impound lot on that piece of property. And the zoning board, we had a zoning board meeting, and our zoning board approved his request. It's our action that we do accept it.
Okay. Now, Ron.
Yes,
Thank you, Jim.
thank you. And I want to use a lot of the information that we just got from this other one. Because the property is categorized as residential right now. We don't want a junkyard there.
Had a business on it, didn't it?
No, it used to be a bar there.
There used to be a bar there,
Yes, and it was
still residential.
commercial and moved back to residential.
Oh, it was commercial, and that's when the tavern was there.
Yes.
And since then,
It's
that
not
was burned,
residential.
and
That's
now
what the zoning board told us Thursday night.
I don't remember doing that, but I guess it's okay.
if he says so.
I mean, it's not, it is residential.
No, Jim's got a clarification. Jim just said it never was commercial.
It's always been commercial stuff all the way.
Okay.
Everybody thought it was commercial because it's all commercial buildings.
Okay. Go ahead, Ron.
Okay.
Oh, it's there right there.
They're on the counter there, Brandon.
We feel strongly that this would create a situation where minority community, that's primarily what that has been over the years, that we're being mistreated, and there is no need for an impoundment yard there. The gentleman, Mr. Miller, stated Thursday night that he's cluttering up DeYoung Street, and he wants to come and clutter up Boynton Street.
He used the word clutter?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
And we don't want to clutter up Boynton Street.
Where is that on DeYoung?
I don't know where it is on DeYoung.
I'm just curious, I don't know.
I have no idea. I understand he has a mechanic shop, but the other point that he made Thursday night too is that he plans to put a towing service in, if you guys let him. Now, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that when you got a towing service, you're creating a junkyard. The people that get their cars towed don't have money to get them towed to start with. Now you're going to put the car in the impound yard and put a fee on it, and they're not going to be able to get it. People who have a little bit of money don't have to worry about their cars getting impounded. We got a situation here that Arbor Marshall's property, Marie's property, you got Brian Sloan and June Hall, they all live in that area. They don't want the values of their property to go down because you're putting an impoundment junkyard in. We don't want our kids up there around. They talk about putting a 6-foot fence in. Kids can climb a fence. It's right across the street from the Marion housing. There's plenty of kids in there. They're not going to put a person up there permanent. Now, I asked them, you're going to have somebody up there all the time. It's not going to be. That's going to be a place for rodents and everything else when you put cars in there. Then they wanted to compare it to where Old Blades is now, that they have an impoundment yard there. You may as well say that's, miles away. That has no influence on what we're talking about on Boynton Street, what they're doing on Court Street at the Old Blades place. Not even a comparison at all. We have a problem, and the problem is that people think they can do that community any kind of way. And we're not going to let that happen. And we ask you, as our elected representatives, not to let that happen. Thank you.
Anybody?
Mayor, my name is Wes Wilkins. I'm here with Mr. Miller. We'd like to address the issue.
Okay, right there.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for letting us speak. And I know your meeting's already been long. My name is Wes Wilkins. I happen to be an attorney for Marion, Illinois, but I'm not here as an attorney. I'm here as this young man's father-in-law. He has petitioned for the special permit to put this in as a new resident of the city of Marion. In June of 2016, he opened a business here because he saw the opportunity in a growing community who is the economic engine of Southern Illinois. We all know that. He opened a business called Top Notch Auto, and that business has been successful. He has hired 2 employees. He is anticipating hiring more. What he said was that he was interested in opening an auto impound lot so that he did not clutter up the area where he is in a business area now. That's part of the reason that he wants to do it, because he doesn't want vehicles from his growing business sitting on the street or cluttering up that lot over there and causing any kind of economic disparity for the surrounding property owners. We have no issue with these folks. I understand exactly why they're here. We want to be a good neighbor in that community and in that neighborhood. We are not there to create a junkyard. What we have identified is a lot that was commercial for years, has commercial buildings around it, has a city garage on the back side of it, has a wood line on one side of it, and it is our intention, if the special permit is granted, is to develop this into an impound lot that has a 6 or perhaps as high as an 8-foot slatted privacy fence in front of it, so that it is not any kind of an impairment, it is not any kind of an obstacle to property values. It will be well lit, it will have all kinds of security cameras, and it will not in any way drastically affect the safety or the welfare or the physical environment. These folks, I understand, are concerned. The sidewalk in this area, if you're familiar with it, is on their side of the road. It's not on the side that we're proposing to develop there, so there should not be any foot traffic there that's going to be drastically affected by this in any way, shape, or form. It is our intention that if the special petition is granted, the special permit, I should say, that he intends to build a $50,000 building, a 40 by 60 foot building on his property, which will only enhance not only the property values in the area, but also the tax revenue that the city gets by the development of this property. He has no intention of moving into this community. He and my daughter just bought a home on Old Creel Springs Road. She's a graduate student at SIU in speech and language pathology. She will be doing part of her clinicals at the Longfellow School this fall. They are wanting to be good residents and good citizens of this community. They have no intention of coming into the city and junking up a neighborhood or being anything but an asset to this community. When I looked at your ordinance, the particular facets, the characteristics that you are to look at, and you know what those are, I don't have to remind you, is that when you look at the proposed design, the location, the manner of the operation of the proposed special use, whether it will endanger or adequately protect the public health, safety, and welfare and the physical environment. I would suggest to you that it will not substantially alter this neighborhood, because there's already businesses on that side of the road. There are no residences on that side of the road anywhere near. There's a vacant field immediately adjacent to it on the other side of the wood line. I've already spoken about the other businesses in the city garage to the rear. Secondly, one of the things to look at, the effect the proposed special use would have on the value of neighboring property and on the city's overall tax base. I would argue too that it would only expand the city's tax base, and it will not affect any of the private property in the area with respect to a negative consequence with respect to their property value. Thirdly, the effect the proposed special use would have on public utilities and on traffic circulation in nearby streets. This is a well-traveled street. It will not in any way impede that travel on the street or be a safety hazard. Lastly, the fourth one is whether there are any facilities near the proposed special use, such as schools or hospitals, that require special protection, which I would suggest to you there are not. So, as you know, the appeals board voted 3-0, one abstention, to approve this special use permit, and we would ask that this council respectfully follow their recommendation. If you have any questions, my client would be glad and my client, my son-in-law, he's both of those things, I guess tonight, isn't he? Would be happy to answer those because he knows how he's going to operate it.
Have any idea how many cars you would plan to have impounded there?
Substantially. If you guys grant me a towing use in this town or even the county, I mean, you can expect 10 to 20 probably, direct cars. We're not storing a junkyard here. The state of Illinois has a policy.
Did you say these would be wrecked cars?
Wrecked from, picking up off wrecks off the side of the street or...
Well, yeah, if they're pulled by a wrecker, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're wrecked.
Right, not all of them will be wrecked. So...
Any particular reason why you chose that location as opposed to something more outside of a residential area?
Well, there's nothing, I mean, if you look at property, there's not a lot of property for sale in Marion that could, constitute for a sales yard, impound yard. There's no...
Whenever we were looking online using our realtor, it was actually listed, supposedly it was not commercial, but it was listed as a commercial property, and so that's how we started to pursue this. Because everyone, with all the realtors, the owner of the property told us that it was commercial, and then when we found out, when we went to sign paperwork that it was residential, that was when it was.
We've already had contracts on 2 other pieces of property that have fallen through, one being Blade's Body Shop.
We can't vote on this. We can't vote on this. It's not zoned right. It's got to be zoned right before we can take action on it.
We're asking for a special use permit.
And actually,
Arbor's got, Arbor's got a question there.
I was just going to bring up what she just started. We have a Button Street Center there that had groups of kids there every day. And there are people that walk on that side of the street. And there's a lot of people walk on that side of the street. See, you don't live there, you don't know. And you're causing a lot of trouble. You got the baseball field in the back of the center where the kids go and play, and that open field there belongs to somebody. Do you know who that belongs to?
Behind us?
No, beside you.
City.
No.
It's on a regular basis, and it belongs to June Hall, who has a house.
Who has a house just east of that lot.
There are more than one house over on that side of the road. And you, like I said, you got children that walks by there, and they cross back and forth, the buses let them off at the center,
At that street.
At that street, right across the street.
And your house is located...
Right down the corner, about a block away.
Yeah, okay. And these other ladies...
Marie's house is on the west side of the center.
The west side of the Barton Street Center.
Brand new house.
Brand new.
Yes.
And the Joneses are on that side of the road where the city turns up in there.
Yeah, the White House on the corner.
Where John Willie used to live.
It's not like that nobody's not up in there that don't use that street, and there are people, because I be looking, walking that street at 12 and 1 o'clock at night, because my dog let me know when somebody's coming by. But nevertheless, just because they're saying it's some place, it's not what they saying it is. We got people that lives there.
Yeah.
You have some nice homes, though.
Go ahead there, Mr. Carter.
I worked for a man that had that property, and he couldn't get rid of it to save his life. So it stands to reason that they bought that property because it's probably rock bottom to get it. He probably did. If
We haven't.
Like I think I do. He got rid of it. Just be done with it. Just be done with it. You know I'm not. He got rid of it just to be done with it because he's down there in Florida enjoying the good life. That's just a drop in the bucket.
Yeah, okay.
So the fact that you got the property, you surveyed the property, you got the property, you got it just because this man had to get rid of it.
And then other places that you can get.
I'm glad he's not putting a bar there.
And that's a double busy street.
I'm just glad he's not
Yes.
putting a bar
That
there.
street is super but busy.
I don't miss the box. You got rid of one eyesore, you can't face one eyesore with another one.
What I suppose you're suggesting is that it's okay for a business if it's not something that's going to degrade the neighborhood.
Well, I think it should go through this same process, depending on what type of business it is. The area is zoned residential, and if you go by what the zoning board talked about Thursday night, they don't have the ability to change it unless you change it.
And I'm gonna tell you another thing. Your board member, or whatever they was here the other night, they zoning, they laughed about it. That one right there, in the green shirt, laughed about it. Well, at least it ain't a lie. I mean, you know, what is that to say to the position?
We can stay away from the personalities here. Let's just talk about the essence of the matter.
That's part of it.
Okay, I see Reverend Walton back there.
I was just concerned, the attorney stated that there would be now no reduction in property value. And I want to know what historical facts does he have that when an entity like the young man is proposing to put in that area, in other areas, has not affected the property values. Will it increase the property values? I don't believe so. So I know where I live, you know, whenever, it would, from my, limited knowledge, affect the property values in a negative way. And I think that's a very important point to understand.
Well, personally,
Let me ask you, how many of you on the board or anybody else would like that entity within a block of their home or across the street? We have to see this, that these people have labored and sweat over years and years to bring their properties where they are. And it's really not fair to try to discount that property in any way by moving an entity like that in.
yeah, personally, I wouldn't want one next to me.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to add to that. Most of us been around this community and know the community, so excuse me for getting emotional. But you can see how people are trying to uplift themselves and rebuild and build up the community by Junior Hall.
Right.
Brian Stallone, Hartville, are fixing up their properties just to make the property, the area look better. Having children up there. We have 60 kids a day that come up there for our after-school programs. They need to be safe, and we provide a safe environment for them. So we feel having something like that will cause a disservice to the neighborhood. I don't live in the neighborhood, but I grew up in there. I grew up with my family, my grandmother, my aunts, uncles, everyone.
I think they'd rather put it somewhere else.
We've seen where it's been and where it's come now, and the park, we've updated the park just so we can have people just to come out and be part of the neighborhood. We don't want to bring it down, put a junkyard right in the center of a residential area. And then he did admit just earlier that he said he didn't want to declutter or clutter his place where he was at now. So what do you think, if you don't want to declutter that, but it implies that I'll declutter the Portland Street area.
But where is this property in relation to the city housing?
Right across the street.
Right across the street.
Directly across the street.
less than a stone's.
As well as another commercial business directly across the street.
Yeah, I think they ought to find another place for it. I'm not for doing
The
it.
zoning board told us
No.
Thursday night that
I'd
all
say
business is grandfathered. Tom
I would
Bentley's been
reject
there
this.
a long time. That business has been there longer. It's grandfathered.
Mr. Ferguson, I'm going to end this. I make a motion to deny the zoning board
Second it.
recommendation.
Okay.
Second it.
Motion made and second. Call the roll.
Commissioner Vanilla?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
And Mayor Butler?
Yay. Thank you all for coming. We appreciate your consideration.
That's not the first time of something like that.
That's not Joe Marshall, is it? You know, Joe, you don't get any better looking.
How could he? He's already pretty.
How you doing, sir?
Right, Joe? You can't get any better looking. You're already pretty.
He was my ball coach one time.
How you doing, Joe?
I think he was my coach. Kind of productive, huh? How can you allow business? How can you allow business going to a residential area?
I wouldn't have it either.
Yes.
No, sir. It's not a place for it.
Yep. Yep.
Keep it going.
That's right.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
Whatever here, you know.
How are you, young lady? Sure. You enjoying your vacation this week?
You got it, buddy. Hey, all right.
God bless you, buddy. Yep. Yep. See you, buddy.
Okay, let's see. Is there something else that we need to take up?
You got
Okay, I think we're ready to go back to item 3.
Well, there's more on that.
you got Casey rezoning here.
There's a C, D, and
Oh, we got C up here. Okay, yeah.
It here. Rezone for Casey's.
All right.
I've still got 4 or 5 here.
They got a cutaway back there. They want to do this lot behind them. They're going to locate. They want this one here rezoned.
Jim, you ought to have a meeting more than every once in a while.
Not for long.
Okay, tell us what this is about.
Okay, this one here is, this is on North Hogan Street. Casey's has bought the property out on, at 400 East D. Young. Out there, there's a shopping, little mall area in there where there's offices and stuff in. And they bought it and going to build a new Casey's store there. And they bought the piece of property, and there's a little duplex sitting behind it that's on a separate lot that everybody thought was all commercial.
Yeah.
And it's actually on 1205 North Logan, which is all Logan property. And they're wanting to rezone that as commercial and add the 3 lots together to build their new store.
Yeah.
Okay, that seems simple enough.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 3672.
Second.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Vanilla?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
And Mayor Butler?
Yay. Okay, what's subdivision of NLB properties? What's that about?
That's down where the new car wash is on New 13.
Oh, yeah,
They're
yeah.
selling off the rest of their property, so they had to make a subdivision out of it to be able to sell the rest of that parking lot they've got, to get the county to record it, so that's what this is.
Yankees.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're going.
Between it and Sonic.
That's another
Going
part of the
west from
screwball
Marsh.
law.
Yeah.
Good night.
So we need a motion on it?
The owners of NLB property had their attorney, because Mayor, as you remember, there were covenants on that property that when Ryan's was there, they could never build anything on that parking lot. And because it was supposed to be an open view of Walmart. That was when Walmart was on that side of the building, of town. And so when NLB bought the property, they had their attorney work on trying to go to Walmart and get the covenants adjusted so they could sell that property. And so it is going to bring in, we've had several businesses vying for that property now, and it will be a very nice subdivided property for them.
Well, I move we adopt ordinance 3673.
I'll second.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Vanilla?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
And Mayor Butler?
Yay. Okay, item E.
Item E is mine also.
I vote no on that.
Jim, what do you want to retire for?
Do what?
What do you want to retire for? Just lay around the house?
You can see after sitting through the meetings and I don't want to retire.
Oh, now we know why the zoning board didn't meet often.
There you go.
I wish you would have last year, huh?
Now you know. No, anyway, I'm going to submit my letter of resignation as of, I'm going to work until, I'll read it here to you, if you read it. So I'm submitting my letter of retirement as Director of Code Enforcement for the City of Marion. I plan to work until April the 28th of this year, and then take my 4 weeks vacation. My last day of employment with the city will be May the 26th, which is the last day of this fiscal year. And I figure I've worked here for the city for the past 14 years and feel it's time to move on. I plan to relax, go fishing, enjoy life, and spend more time at home with my wife. I thank you all for your support and help for the last 14 years.
Does she have anything to say about that? About your wife spending time?
Yeah, she got everything to say about it. She wondered why I hadn't done it sooner.
Oh, okay.
So she could have a list for you.
No list.
Really?
No list.
No, he keeps it current.
I
keeps up with all those.
No, she don't have to make a list.
He stays on top of things, see?
Well,
Jim, I think speak for the whole council, we really appreciate all the time and the years that you put in, and you have brought the code enforcement department to a new level. You have really expanded and taken due consideration of both the needs and wants of the people and the requirements of the city, and you're to be commended for all your good work, and we do appreciate it.
and keeping this building going, so.
Now, who's going to close the locks?
I don't know what we're going to do for a handyman. I mean, that's just sort of a side
It fell into the rest of it, didn't it?
Yeah.
But anyway,
Well, we certainly.
I appreciate the job. And
I'll reluctantly make the motion to accept your resignation as code director.
Second.
Call roll.
Commissioner Ranella?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Butler?
Yay. Okay, let's go back, I guess. Oh, there's the chief. Tell us about the firefighters.
We have a letter A.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about, fire department.
To get Kathy Anderson approved as the administrative assistant, the salary should be $13.99 an hour. I think we had it listed as 13 as a typo on my part. Should be $13.99 an hour.
Yeah.
Yep. Get council approval to accept her.
I'll make that motion, and I was sitting on interviews, and she's very capable.
Sounds good to me. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second, call roll.
We all seconded it.
Everybody seconded, all right, call roll.
Commissioner Ranella?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
And Mayor Butler?
Yay. Okay. Tell us about the land swap from Williamson County Fire Protection District and the city.
The Williamson County Fire Protection District was looking at building a new station, and it was looking for a place to house their equipment while they built their new station. So I proposed or talked to the fire chief of maybe doing a land exchange, exchanging the land that the city owns out beside Thomas Trucking, the 2 acres for their current corner lot there at Old Creole in Maine. So, it would help them out for being able to house their trucks while they was building their new station. It would also help us out of giving us that corner lot, which would be more accessible for us, being able to store equipment in the existing building, as well as we could park trucks on that side of town and just keep them out there as kind of a satellite station once they vacate the building. I know their bids came in on their new station a little higher than they was expecting. They're not for sure what direction they're going in as of right now. But if I could still get council approval to, if they do decide to move forward with this land exchange, that I could move forward with working with their attorney and our attorney to put a proposal together.
So they would like for the city to make a commitment to convey the land out by Thomason.
Yeah, to do a land
in the event that the Williamson County Fire Protection District decides to move from where they are now.
Yeah, if they decide to move forward to do this exchange as well.
Okay, and what kind of a facility is on the fire district's land?
Right now, it's the old Hampshire Motors building is what's there now. I had talked with Jeremy, it did have fuel tanks on it. They was abated in the 90s, and he said that's recorded on the deed. When they moved into the building, there was some asbestos in there. That's all been removed prior to them moving into that building.
Oh, so if we were to make the swap, then we wouldn't be buying a pig in the poke as far as the land is, the building's concerned.
No, matter of fact, they just put a new roof on it probably, I don't know, it's within 7 or 10 years ago. They put a new roof on that building as well. So the building actually, is in pretty good shape for what it is.
Okay, who makes the motion?
Make that motion.
Second.
Call roll.
Commissioner Vanilla?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Butler?
Yay. Thank you, young man.
Thank you.
Okay, Jim, what do we got here?
Yeah, item A, under Police Department, be approved accepting new police sergeant after testing is completed April 12th, 2017.
Okay,
I put that in form of a motion.
Second.
call roll.
Commissioner Vanilla?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
And Mayor Butler?
Yay.
And then item B would be asking council approval to purchase 5 new emergency response team vests. The cost is $13,333.54. However, they're going to pay for them through the drug fund.
Does the drug fund have that kind of
Yes.
money?
Yep, I'd make that
Okay,
motion.
that's the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Call roll.
Commissioner Vanilla?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
And Mayor Butler?
Yay.
And then the last one, although we do have funds in there, there's a chance to recoup maybe half of that. Council approved to apply for a justice grant that will cover half the cost of the ERT vest above item, and if we get that money back, we'll put it back in that drug fund.
So your
that's my
motion
motion.
is to
I'll second that.
call roll.
Commissioner Vanilla?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
And Mayor Butler?
Yay. Okay, Gail, you got the Hub Recreation Center?
Krista is not able to be here tonight, so I'd like to recommend on his behalf several part-time employees to be added to the hub staff to replace both camp counselor Jessica McLennan as a camp counselor and also doing the child watch program at $8.25 an hour. Do you want me to just go through all 3 of them, Mayor?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, and then Robert Eddie Hungate as a wellness attendant at $9 an hour, and then work with the sports and rec program at $8.50 an hour. And lastly, Kyla Tolbert as child watch at $8.25 an hour. And those have been recommended and interviewed and have passed all their screenings.
Okay, what's your pleasure?
So moved.
I'll second.
Call roll.
Commissioner Vanilla?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Butler?
Yay. Okay,
My turn?
are you ready?
I'm ready. I make a motion to pay the monthly bills as funds become available.
Second.
Call roll.
Commissioner Vanilla?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
And Mayor Butler?
Yay.
Yeah, and I make a motion to pay the consent agenda.
Second.
Call roll.
Commissioner Vanilla?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
And Mayor Butler?
Yay. Anything else?
That is it.
Okay, Angelo. Jim.
Yeah, just a little activity report here on the police department. We had 15 city ordinance violations. This is for February 2017. Had 26 warrant arrests, 84 traffic accidents, and 5 DUIs. So another busy month.
You like that?
Boy, a lot of traffic accidents, so gee whiz.
How many?
84.
That's all.
Man.
There was no ice in, there was no ice in
There'll be
February.
one less. My wife lost her license to eyesight, so she's off the road. Don't worry about that.
Well, no, there's had 5 DUIs.
5 DUIs.
Well, now, I can remember when we would only have one in a month. Are our officers being more diligent, or the people drinking more? Drinking and driving more?
Probably both.
Might be a little bit of both. Okay. Good report. Anything else?
That's all I got.
I got a couple of things, Mayor. They got to call attention that West Main Street from Halfway Road to Skyline Drive will be closed tomorrow from 7 to 4. That's to allow for repairs to the overpass railroad bridge on Old West Main.
I drove out that way this afternoon, and I don't understand why they went so far west as Skyline Drive.
Because Boswell's a dead end. You can't get through there.
Oh, is that the reason?
Yeah. You could go to Boswell, but you have to turn around and go back.
Skyline is actually the
Yeah.
first through road
Yeah.
over to 13.
The mayor knows that. He just causing me trouble.
I just wondered, because it's a heck of a
Well, you
distance
could go
from the
through Lynnville,
railroad
but you-
to Skyline.
Yeah, well, there's
get lost.
way over to the other
They
way.
bring some,
Okay.
the people from Boston.
And you got one other thing to call attention, guys. Our spring cleanup starts
Drive around.
There
April
is a
3rd.
round there on the west side of the railroad.
For the press that we can publish this, April 3rd, we start our cleanup on the southeast section, and we'll go on through the northeast section on the 5th. April 10th, we go to the northwest, and then April 12th and 13th, we go down to the southwest section. So starting April 3rd, if you got the limbs and the debris out, you need to get it to the curb so the street department can pick it up.
Johnny, you going to have another electronics deal this year, or that be maybe next year?
And we hope to do it this year.
Yeah, that'll be in the fall.
Yeah.
You know, that's something that, you know, we'll have to budget for.
Yeah.
We did put it in the budget,
Yeah,
but
we'll do that.
that's a pretty good deal, and
Yeah.
I just think it's something. One thing I do want to mention, our Memorial Day at the park is moving along real well. We've got things lined up. We're going to be able to have a chicken dinner this year, or barbecue chicken, along with some other vendors. Going to have the pool again for the kids to swim in from 1 to 4. Going to have baseball this year. Junior Legion's going to play a doubleheader there, 4 different teams. So car show. We're working on some other venues there, but it's shaping up to, you know, hopefully, you know, as time goes on, and you know, get more people to come back to that park on Memorial Day, because, you know, that I believe, you know, that was Marion. That was Marion's day.
That's right, Anthony. That's a great thing you're doing.
Sounds good to me. And I have a letter here from Fred Bowling, who is the Alderman Road Commissioner from the city of Orient. I would like to introduce myself. I'm Fred Bowling, Alderman Road Commissioner for the city of Orient. I'm writing in hopes that you might have an old pickup truck or dump truck that the city of Marion might be able to donate to the city of Orient. Now, you see how our milk of human kindness, how our benevolence has spread throughout the area, to the point that the city of Orient is wanting to know if we have a junk truck that they can have.
Why are you looking at my department?
That's where all the junk is. And he goes on. He says the city of Orient is in need of an additional vehicle for our city maintenance workers to get around in our town to perform their duties. Greatly appreciate if you might consider us if you do have a spare vehicle. If you have any questions, he's given us his phone number. So I'll turn that over to the junk man.
Well, I seen him working on the dump truck down there, Johnny.
I'm sorry, what?
I seen him working on a dump truck, and I was kidding Doug the other day. I said, "What are you doing, stripping that and going to take it down out to Simcoe and sell it and have a Christmas party?" He said, "Oh no, I forget what they're going to make out of it."
Got
but-
358,000 miles on 2 trucks down there.
Yeah, so.
We really have.
No, he had.
We can't fix them up because we're busy repairing all the cop cars down there. And I think we had 5 down there last week.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Is that because they work so hard, right?
No, they keep running through wire.
And now this is getting to be pretty serious stuff. This is from the U.S. Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Prisons. They have issued a request for proposals for residential reentry center services, previously referred to as halfway house services, in the Marion, Illinois area. The announcement was advertised February 24th on the internet. Offers will be given until April 24th, 2017 to submit their proposals to the Bureau. Now, they get into some numbers here. They're talking about the proposed contract is for a term of 5 years and will provide services for an estimated 61 in-house offenders and 30 offenders on home confinement. Now, they are talking about people going to be released from federal prisons. Several years ago, I don't know if it was this outfit, but one wanted to purchase a home over on Hamlet Street and house some of these released convicts. And the neighbors all rose up in arms. They really disliked the idea. So we refused to change the zoning because that was a residential area. And they took us to court, and the federal court. And the federal court said we couldn't do that. Well, the court fined the city $5,000. But they never put one convict in that house. So I don't know if we're going to run into that kind of a situation here.
Now, what do they do at Centerstone? Don't they do something similar?
That's what they do.
That's exactly,
That's what they do.
they're duplicating
Well, leave it there.
Centerstone. We never had any trouble with them.
5 years, it comes up for renewal.
Maybe Centerstone's rebidding.
Yeah, and they have to
Well, I bet
rebid
they
every
are.
5 years. And
I bet they are. I'd say that's probably some good money for them.
well, somebody's always, they have one or two bid against them.
Yeah, they do.
It isn't a slam dunk. And of course, that's what the Department of Justice is looking for, is the best deal they can get financially. And our concerns about where they put these people
Yeah.
is secondary.
Right.
Now, when we got sued, was they trying to change it to
Yeah.
a commercial then?
No,
From
yeah.
our,
Was it based on
A group home.
discrimination?
Yeah,
They were going to have a group home.
yeah.
If-
It was a group home of
it was-
people being
they want
released
the
from.
commercial rating then?
Yeah. It is-
Well, yeah, well, of course, we said that it was commercial, it was residential, it had to be rezoned commercial, and we refused to do that. And that being the case, then they were not given a permit. And that being the case, they took us to federal court. And the court said, you can't do that. And they fined us $5,000. But in my mind, it was worth $5,000 to keep that from going into that area.
Yeah.
And it never did happen in the rest of the city.
But we've never had any problem with Centerstone. It's always been.
Boy, they've always
not
had a
the
good
first- not-
operation.
Nice operation.
I don't know of any instance we've ever had, period.
No, they've had a great operation, and
And it's
every
great-
5 years, I keep my fingers crossed.
Yeah, me
Because I
too.
think they ought to continue.
Yeah.
Okay, having said that, motion to adjourn, I believe, would be in order.
I make that motion.
Oh, I hate to go home so early. I better call home. I'll second.
Call roll.
Commissioner Manella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
And Mayor Butler.
Yay.
We've got a couple old trucks, I'm sure we'll